Here we are with episode 3 of 1923. We're slowly getting somewhere with this, and it's starting to get interesting. Hopefully though, the ranch bar isn't too far away, so let's jump right into the details. We start off this episode with Jacob and the Wranglers leaving the wagon after the storm. The danger's not over yet, and they're on the verge of freezing to death. After some discussion, they burn the wagon for warmth, and fetch the horses afterwards. I always wonder how they manage to get all the horses back. Like, what if they decide not to stick together? It would take an eternity to find them all, but convenience is on their side, and they find all of them and decide to take the trip on horseback. We switch to Alexandra, who has arrived in New York. She's scared because the immigration laws are strict, and many tourists are sent back. While waiting for her turn, Alex overhears how the officers deny entry for pregnant women without the ability to work. After a set of grueling and demeaning exams, she gets sat in front of another officer being a douche. Fortunately, Alex whips out one of Taylor Sheridan's moral lectures. And as usual, it works. Now the rest isn't easy either, because she still has to travel to Montana. The scenes of the exam were brutal to watch. And while it depicts the truth, I really think half of it would have proved the point just as well. I just wonder how Alex can still afford the ride and accommodation on the way. Isn't she starting to run out of money? And why isn't she contacting Jacob and Kara so they could send somebody for her? But I guess with that tactic, it wouldn't take that long, and we still have over half a season to fill with episodes and stories. So, meanwhile in the States, Run's his horse reaches the Wranglers of the ranch and makes a deal with them to stay longer on their turf. They agree on the condition that they bring in the stray cattle they encounter, even offer to pay them for the effort. Now you know what they say, if something looks too good, it's a trap! So those guys are far too nice. This is either Sheridan's way of tooting his old cowboy horn, or the Wranglers will rat them out eventually to the church and the marshal. But I guess we'll see about that. Talking about the father and the marshal, those two are getting closer to Tiana's location. The marshal suspects that they're headed to Mexico to hide there. This could also explain why Rainwater tells us in season 1 that he believed to be Mexican for a big chunk of his life. But just when they get lucky, they got another thing coming. The female marshal they pissed off has relations with a Comanche and agrees to take him in for them or have the natives take revenge themselves. Either one's good for me. That asshat with his 45 auto really pisses me off. It's time for him to take a nap in the dirt, along with the father who didn't do anything when a kid got killed by the marshal.
Straight to hell, to the boiler room of hell, all the way down.
Back at the ranch, Elizabeth is done staying and doesn't want another rabies shot. Even when Jack returns, she doesn't care for him anymore and wants out. This is really out of character for her. She was depicted as a woman who faced her fears and left her old life behind. If she really wanted out, she would have hightailed back east once she was shot in season 1. Or maybe she just traded places with Ainsley, who is Tommy's spoiled daughter from Landman. Oh look, now everything makes sense. Well, Taylor, I hope you're still paying attention here, because it's getting a little ridiculous. But I'm still on your side. I also don't get what's going on with those rabies shots. Are they this painful? Is she afraid of them? Or is she just an early member of those anti-vaxxers? Maybe one of you fine ladies and gentlemen can tell me what's going on in the comments, because I don't get it. She's not the only one in distress though. Zane has survived the ride home, but still needs medical attention. The doctor from last episode conveniently stayed and takes a look at him. Turns out he has a hemorrhage in his head and they need to drill his skull open to remove it. Oh no, not this shit again.
You can't keep getting away with it!
So I guess we'll see Zane's surgery in detail next episode, and as usual, anesthetics are out, and because he can't set foot into town, there's also no way to bring him to a hospital without getting arrested. Looking forward to it. And lastly, there's Spencer on his side quest. Funny enough, Spencer and Luca spot a roadblock ahead. Sensing the impatience of the audience, Spencer aborts the mission and heads to the nearest train station. Luca takes his luck into his own hands and drives the truck right through the roadblock, getting absolutely obliterated.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Well, Stevie Wonder could have seen how that plays out. What a moron. At least Spencer's getting closer to home, and we're in for some ass kicking. And this is it for episode 3. I think this was an okay episode. Not as strong as the first one, and on par with the last one, I'd say. I think it's great that Taylor doesn't shy away from showing us the ugly face of that time and what the people had to deal with. On the other hand, some scenes were just too long and kept going forever, overstating the point. I also feel that some shots are just too artificial and too bright. The effects are coming through, which doesn't fit into the great contrast and the rich colors of the universe. If you look back at the main series, the cinematography looked absolutely stunning. At some points, I thought it was shot on film. So I'd love if they could dial down the effects and the action and go back to the old format. Nonetheless, I'm excited for the next episode and will report back next week. Thank you for staying this long till the end of this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you'll know when I crank out another video. Stay tuned and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.